Welcome to Swarf and Chips. Now it's evident by the comments and requests that we've been receiving, as well as the watch rate, that the show is growing in its appeal. Speaking of growth, we have had a present from Ray from RDL Technologies. Following his last week's comment about Paul's hair, or lack of it, Ray felt compelled to give Paul a present.
Seriously, Ray? Couldn't you have got me a pink one or something? Wouldn't that have been better? Anyway, let's get on with the show.
Okay. Calming. Now, I don't know much about this company. Who are they?
Calming, the machine itself is a universal machining centre, the one we see here in the video. They're supplied in the UK by Lead Precision Machine Tools. This was an installation we went to look at where the customer actually has got 5-axis machines already. He's got turning centres, he's got multi-axis capability throughout the machine shop, but what he didn't have was a machine that could give him both horizontal machining and vertical machining, and that's what the Calming machine is.
So that's what they're after, ultimate flexibility.
Look at the part, components like this. How on earth are you going to machine a component like this in one hit without having a machine where you can tackle it from a horizontal plane like we've got here, and also a vertical plane for the top faces as well? It's impossible. So that's why I went for this machine.
What's the size of work that is going to go on this machine?
From this is like a 700 pallet machine. So you're kind of, it's under a metre, but it's pretty big components. And as with this company Partline, a lot of their work is maybe not necessarily volume parts, but sort of bulky parts, castings like you see there. So almost difficult to handle componentry.
Yeah, nice simple fixture there, rather than having 2 or 3 ops and where you need multiple fixturing.
Yeah, and imagine trying to achieve, with a part like this, where you're really trying to achieve accuracy to microns in bores, and then having to move that part and put it on another machine.
Lose your data.
Nightmare. So this Calming machine has been brilliant. And they won business as a result of buying this machine tool from Lead Precision Machine Tools.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. So it wasn't an investment just for this machine to cater for what they were doing. They also won an order as a direct result of having it.
Oh, wow. Okay, great news. SW Precision. Now, I will recommend anybody to watch this clip because it is really, really informative. What is multi-spindle machining?
It's as the name suggests, really. Instead of having 1 spindle, you've got 2. They do actually go up to 4 spindles, but this particular model's got 2 spindles. So you're getting over double the productivity for the footprint. So obviously, if it's automated or the operator, you've only got 1 operator, maybe with 2 machines, maybe you need 2. But yeah, as this demonstrates here, the machine 2 components simultaneously at the same time.
It's a volume market, isn't it, essentially?
Well, they say medium to high volume, but what is medium to high volume? You know, it's up to you.
Well, medium to high volume in the automotive sector is a lot different to medium to high volume in the, I don't know, in another
oil and
sector.
gas or...
Yeah, but you know, what surprised me, there's well over 100 machines in the UK now from SW, and they're not exclusively in automotive. They're seeing a lot in aerospace. They're going into medical as well.
Is it ball screw driven or linear motors for the...
It's linear. Well, they do both. They do both. This is the linear, but they also do a ball screw as well.
Right, we're going to move on. Seiko hard turning. What's hard turning?
Joe, go for it.
Hard turning, as the name would suggest, it's a component that's been hardened prior to the machining process. This has been nitride hardened, but they're using CBN inserts, so it's basically, you can run them slightly quicker than carbide in this process, certainly. Improved surface finish. You don't use coolant either, so it's better for the environment.
What about the heat? What about the heat that's coming either from the swarf or that's maintained in this pinion component itself? Does that not affect the accuracy of the diameter, the finished component?
No, there's 2 things to it. One, CBN can take more heat than traditional carbide, so you don't get thermal cracking and things like this. And also, you know, the swarf's dropping to the bottom of the machine, isn't it? So the component, you know, isn't damaged at all. There are selective times you do need coolant, but very rare with the CBN process.
Talking of carbide, you went and visited Aplitech and you spoke to a Richard Floyd.
Yeah, Paul did.
Yeah, you did, Paul. Double screws, single screws, that was the main topic of conversation.
Yeah, Floyd Automatic, all of their products, or the majority of their products they supply are for Swiss lathes, sliding head lathes. Richard, who's a big customer of MTD, these guys are very, very technical. It's almost like they live and breathe what they sell, which is great because you know you're getting a quality product and you know they were going to do all the research and development to get the best tools into the marketplace.
Technology.
And fundamentally here you've got a tool there where the insert was previously held by one screw or two screws, and then they went and developed a product that had one screw holding the insert. Of course, you don't get the same stability in your machining environment. You can't maybe take as deeper cuts. It might affect the surface finish. So Aplitech have now gone back to a more cost-effective solution of using the two screws again, but for a more economical price.
Yes, because carbide is quite expensive.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but like you say, Floyd Automatic, if you're looking at Swiss precision machining, sliding head, technology, these are the people to speak to. There are other players, but Floyd, they live and breathe it. Richard's a clever guy.
Now, you may have noticed that Colin's not here because Colin is at Rockingham Manufacturing, who are a company who make machines for the food industry. And we all know how much Colin likes his food.
Lindsay, thank you for that. Now, as you guys know, I like to think I'm the Gok Wan of MTD, a little bit stylish. But this week, they sent me out to get a little bit down and dirty. So I'm at Rockingham Manufacturing in Rockingham, right next to the racetrack. Now, Martin and Richard have been in business for over 50 years now. So what's the secret of their success? Well, there's a few things. First of all, continued investment. They've got a new Romy here, the D1000, which has a bed of 1 metre by 600. They've got a new Romy lathe as well, the C680, a swing of 680 and can take components 2 metres long. So some big parts on that. But also another key to their success is their engineering skills. So they'll get drawings, they'll machine a component, but someone will turn up with a fag packet or a broken sample, well, a broken component or a sample, and they'll be able to remanufacture that. So great skills. But as you engineers like, you want to see some components. So we've got some examples here. This is a fork from a motorbike, bit of milling, bit of turning, 5 operations. I mentioned about marine diesel. Now, I haven't got small hands. This is a flipping great nut. Also, tying in with that, in a normal car engine, you'd have a con rod, which is so long-ish. Now this thing, and I'm not being a lightweight, it's flipping heavy. Also, you've got the push rod here. In a normal car, that would be so long, so just to get a feel for the size of the parts they're working on, that is huge. And rocker lever, in a normal engine, so big. Now this one, again, I'm not being a lightweight, this is flipping heavy. Look at the size of it, it's massive. But I know you engineers like your dough, and another component they make is an assembly, and this is part of it. And this is actually from a design over 100 years old that's still going strong. These guys have been manufacturing what is a dough making machine for the last 20 years. So that's a little insight. They've got me down and dirty. Guys, back to you in the studio.
You went back to school, didn't you, as well? I see. How was your day back at school?
You can't go back to somewhere you've never been, Lindsay. I've never been to school.
Did you like school?
Never had an education.
I missed assembly again.
Oh.
It was a great day. It was a good day, wasn't it?
It was. Like, I've been off the machine long when I was on the machine. So for me, I picked up loads again. It was basic Fanuc programming day, but it picked up a lot.
What the idea was the CNC Training Academy they sell a lot of training courses, Fanuc, Siemens, Heidenhain. You can visit their facility in Leamington Spa. They often find that with the skills shortages these days, it's great to get new engineers into here to learn. But also, when you're a machinist on the shop floor, or you own a company, or you run a machine shop, you might lose sight of actually how things move on, new control systems, new software, and you might actually be a bit anxious about learning again. And this was really to show people that it's dead simple. It's a very informative course, it's quick, and you can learn a lot.
Right, now you're very, very informative, and the next video I want to talk about is from yourself, Paul, because you talk about the XYZ ProTracks. I think we should do more clips like this because you do learn a lot. What is the ProTracks and what did you do?
XYZ machines sell, there are thousands of them around the UK, as everybody knows, and their control is a big part of their success. This is a very easy to program, easy to control system, software. The idea behind this video was to demonstrate that if you were a manual machinist and you've got a manual machine tool and you were a little bit nervous about moving into the CNC world, actually how simple it is. So we just did a very basic pocketing example and I was thrown on the spot. I literally learnt this within minutes and did this video.
Were you coming off an auto cue?
Not at all, not at all. No. I just was told by Martin Burton, who's the sales manager, this is how you do it. And I went in and did it straight away. And actually, I came away, pressed cycle start. There was no smash ups, which you'll be pleased to know. And we did a pocket and a drilling cycle. It was a very, very easy.
I like the fact if you haven't got all the information to produce the program, you can guess, can't you, and work from there.
Yeah, and there's also obviously safety functions and features within it, which will mean that if you do make a mistake, you aren't necessarily going to have a smash up or cause an accident. So it basically means if you're a manual machinist and you want to go into that transition of on the CNC, dead easy with this control. And this control is rolled out across their range as well. So it doesn't matter how complex the machine is, they do have a control to suit.
Right, next piece is workpiece holding, and we talked to H2M Lang, and they have a crimping vise. Tell us a little bit about this vise.
Yeah, you see this vise everywhere you go, Lindsay. If it's a 5-axis machine, there's probably a 75–85% chance you're going to see this vise. They crimp the component off the machine, and it's got serrations in the jaws which holds the component in place. It can hold on 3mm, sometimes even a little bit less, and it's very rigid, very popular vise. And this is on a 520 Matsura, but you see it on all the machines.
But that combination is common. Matsura 5-axis with the Lang work holding system. Yeah. The two are, you'd almost think they're sold together. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and you also see it in tandem with the Lang automation system as well.
Now, Dugard have got the XP range and they've just increased the table to 1,300mm. Why?
The XP range is quite expansive. They have the 760, the 1000, the 1350, and even I think the 1600 now. When you're selling here, the 1350 is the machine here. When you're selling a machining centre, the last thing you want to do is go into a scenario where someone says, well, my part's actually 1200mm long. I don't need a 1600mm bed machine and a meter's not big enough. What have you got in between the two? And this is where this machine fits. I would also focus not necessarily, the size is important, but also the XP. This is where they've gone for the extra performance. Higher speed spindle, bigger tool changer, faster rapids, features on the machine which take it to another level as well. So it's a high performance machine at a very cost effective price.
And he mentions 36 tools as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, again, that's another point. These guys are very good, Dugard, at looking at machine tools and thinking, what does the market actually need rather than what can I sell it? And this instance, Eric's thinking, well, some customers need 32 tools, so 30 is not big enough, let's bring machines in with 36.
Is that a standard?
On this particular machine, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. You can never have enough, can you?
You can't. And maybe sometimes have a 40 or 50 station tool change. It might mean your tool change time's a little bit slower. Might be bigger on the machine. So 36 is a really good. Yeah.
Last but not least, we've got DKW, and this is Nick, and he's talking about a filter mist. He even says, in his own words, this is the first thing they specify when they buy a machine. Why?
Yeah, well, it's a great statement, isn't it? But basically, we went down there to film one of our podcasts at DKW, and they wouldn't stop endorsing the filter mist product, as well as the star sliding heads and all their technology they had on site. But what he did say, which is really, really interesting, is when they started using filter mist, absenteeism dropped. So basically, they're saying if we've got healthy staff, we're more productive. So it's the first thing they specify when they buy a machine tool.
How much is the cost? Because if I was running my own shop, and this is something, of course, they're going to invest to look after the staff and health and safety and everything like that. How much is an average filter mist going to cost on top?
It just depends. This one's a relatively large unit controlling 2 machines, but you can have 1 per machine. You can have a central system which looks after all the machines. But to be honest, you've got to have it.
How much does it cost to have staff off?
Considerably
what they would say.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting one. What people were there was health issues because they didn't have the filter mist.
Yeah, and it's common sense. If you worked in an office or a machine shop which was cloudy, and you were coughing, even if you weren't ill, you wouldn't be particularly productive, would you?
No.
But that place is spotless, as you know. So. Yeah,
Popular brand.
Great,
Everywhere, Filter Mist.
yeah, great endorsement for Filter Mist.
I love this video. It's the MTA golf event. Just before we speak about this, I'm going to hand over to Mark, who's been speaking with the MTA.
I've just left the MTA offices in London, and really good news for the UK manufacturing sector. The recent PMI figures, some of you will know as the Purchasing Managers Index, has shown that September has been very, very strong, and also figures for October have been very, very positive. So with that in mind, it's not just a flash in the pan. With regards to Brexit, some of the negatives that we thought may happen have not really materialised, which is also very positive. So from a UK manufacturing perspective, positive news from London.
That's interesting. Now, what do you guys think about it?
I think this is more interesting.
You can't say that. It was funny, actually.
Yeah, good day.
It's good news. I think the export thing that they touch on is, we spoke about this on numerous occasions on the show. Exporters are doing well, importers potentially struggling with the strength of the pound. If the PMI index is better month on month, then
Doesn't lie, does it?
It can only be good news.
Yeah, it doesn't lie. And I'm not surprised by that forecast at all, because when was the last time you went to an engineer and said, you know what, I've got nothing to do? You know, the ones who are exclusively doing oil and gas work, okay, we know they're quiet, but everyone else are busy, aren't they?
Well, some just mess about playing golf though.
Wow, good quality. So before we go on to some deals, we've had some messages come through. Now, we do have quite a few comments, so these are just a few that we've chosen. So Martin from Anatronic, he wants to mention he has a River EDM drill available, and it's at pre-Brexit prices. So that's Martin at Anatronic, and he's based in Leighton Buzzard. John from Chirox just bought a new Mazak lathe. When can we come film it?
Whenever, drop us an email. It'd be great to go and see him again. Been there a few times. Loves his Mazak machine, so yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great to go and see him.
Another good installation for Mazak then.
I'm sure, yeah.
He's an engineer that he's always busy actually, isn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously he would be, as he's bought a new machine, so that's good
It's
news.
John from Chirox, that is. And LMS Precision remembers you, Joe, this is funny, from your repping days. Glad all's well. Since you stopped calling, his biscuit stash no longer needs replacing.
Did
you ever sell anything when you were selling? Did you just go around
eating biscuits?
Eating biscuits and drinking
I'm
tea?
saving the guy money even when I'm not there. What a rep, what an engineer.
What biscuits?
All biscuits.
What's your favourite biscuit?
Used to do fish and chips on a Friday.
Goodness me. Right, deals. Go on, tell me.
Okay, yeah, deal of the week. Deal of the week this week has been and will continue until Monday as the DMG EcoMill 800. This is the machine here. This is a vertical machining centre, a 3-axis machining centre. We did a review on it, 800 millimetres in the X-axis. Some of the differences that DMG Mori point out about this machine is the fact that it's got a very heavy casting. The Y-axis is built on a very rigid construction. What's the reason for the deal? Well, they recognise that as you come to the end of a year, which is a lot of people's financial year now as we get towards the end of 2016, that companies have made money. Whether it's been, you know, a pretty tumultuous year economically, there are businesses that have made money and still done well in UK manufacturing, and they want to invest before the end of the year. They want to spend some of that profit. DMG are trying to capitalise on this by offering these eco mills at very competitive prices. So this is.
Do you know what's more important than that? They look lovely, don't they? For a 3-axis machine, it looks like a premium 5-axis machine, doesn't it?
They've always focused very heavily on what the machines perform like, but equal to that, what they look like. And you're dead right, they do look really good.
Yeah, and if you've got a DMG machine, or any other machine, ITC are doing Big Kaiser deals at the moment on their boring heads. We went out to Big Kaiser earlier this year, and the boring heads are great, but they're offering them at 50% discount at the moment.
50%?
Yeah.
When you say boring head, what sort of diameter?
17.8 up to 152 diameter. So small to very, very large, all with the same kit.
So is that a cartridge that would go from the smaller?
Yeah, basically, you keep building it up.
Right.
Yeah, and it's 1 micron adjustment, very accurate tool. So if you're buying a nice machine, buy yourself a nice boring head as well.
And talking about tooling, Mapal are doing deals at the moment on their countersink tooling. Premium quality tooling, Mapal is, and there's various features on their countersinks tools that they'll say make them a lot better, a lot more durable than other tools on the market. And at the moment, we're looking at deals of £95 on countersinks.
And they're not just a countersink, are they? Unequal helix, premium coating, good base material, good product.
So it's a good deal.
Good deal. Any more?
I'd like to pick out a couple more. Fanuc C400 wire EDM machine, we were invited in a week ago to basically do a trailer for this machine to promote it before the end of the year. It's in stock. Fanuc have now got their new B series machines, which we've spoken about on this show and we've done videos on. The C400 machine they have in stock is an A series, so the B series' predecessor, but it's still a great machine with high levels of technology available at a fantastic price. That's one. Also wanted to mention XYZ have some Y-axis turning centres at the moment available in stock. They sell hundreds of machines a year, bed mills, lathes. They also do turning centres, and at the moment they've got, as I say, several Y-axis turning centres to meet the demands of companies that need flexible turning. Yeah,
and the DCM 625F from Romy Machine Tools. We've talked about this last week or the week before. This machine is now on offer. It's on a promotional price. And we reviewed the machine out at A&B this year, but they've had the predecessor, well not the predecessor, the full simultaneous 5X is a very popular machine as we know, but they want to continue to get market share with this.
And that's the reason for their deal, isn't it? They're doing a deal. They recognise that these machines are going to be big sellers, but in order to achieve that, you need to get machines in the market. You need to get that market consumption, that market
you need to get
share.
confidence, people talking about them.
Correct.
Naturally, yes.
That's the reason for the deals and those. And quite conversely to that, there's the deal at the moment on the Nakamura WT machines. Now that's a machine that's been in the market for many years and has a glowing reputation of premium quality turning. But the Engineering Technology Group, now with their new facility in Wellesbourne, are bringing in lots of machines in stock. They want to be able to satisfy the demands of engineers quickly. And with the WT150 in stock, they can now do that as well.
Went there the other day, Wellesbourne. First time I've been. Impressive, isn't it?
It is a very, very impressive place. And I'd probably finally touch on, we do a lot with Haas, and Haas have recently been updating deals with us, and one of which they've asked us to promote is their ST30 Y-axis lathe. So a bit of a turning theme from me in the last few minutes, but if you're looking at flexible turning, then Haas have an ST30 Y-axis lathe available in stock at a special offer as well.
I'm going to stop you there because I've got one more deal myself. So it's an autumn offer from Kelch, 5% off all V345 and V466 presetters with Covis control, ordered before the end of December 2016.
Yeah, good system. I've seen 2 or 3 of those in the last few weeks. It's a popular machine.
Very popular, actually. We've done a lot of work with Kelch Diebold. And their customers cannot say enough. In fact, some of their customers have got their machines as well as competitors' tool setters, and they say they're the best you can get. And to be honest, we've looked at them and they're very good. So that's a good deal.
So as long as someone orders them before the end of December, they get 5% off.
Great deal.
Get your order in.
Thanks, guys. That's all we've got time for today. Now, there's plenty more deals on the website, mtdcnc.com. And as always, keep those spindles turning.